if you live with a cat. You have watched it happen. The cat walks up to a coffee mug on the edge of a table. It sits down. It looks at the mug. Then it looks at you. Then back at the mug. And then, with the deliberate paw movement of an animal making a decision, it taps the mug off the table. This behavior is universal across domestic cats. It appears in feral kittens that have never lived with humans. It appears in lions, leopards, and ocelots in the wild. It is not random. It is not vindictive. It is one of the most evolutionarily conserved predator behaviors in the entire feline family. And what your cat is doing when it knocks your phone off the nightstand at 3 in the morning is something genuinely interesting. Feline biologists call this behavior the paw probe or the pat test. In the wild, cats use their forepaws to investigate prey before committing to a kill. A cat that finds a small object, a beetle, a leaf, a mouse curled in a corner, will gently extend one paw, tap the object, and observe the response. If the object moves, the prey is alive. If it does not move, the prey is either dead, hiding, or not prey at all. The pat test serves 2 evolutionary functions. 1, it distinguishes living prey from inert objects. 2, it tests whether the prey is dangerous enough to fight back. A small movement under a paw is information. The cat learns whether the thing has teeth, claws, venom, or speed before committing to a full hunt. The behavior is hardwired. Kittens display it within the first 8 weeks of life. They will pat anything that fits under a paw, a crumpled receipt, a bottle cap, a piece of dry pasta, their mother's tail. By adulthood, the gesture is so deeply integrated into the predator behavior pattern that even when a cat is well fed, the paw will still extend to test an object. In the wild, the pat test is performed on the ground. In your home, the cat performs it on a different terrain. Tables, counters, shelves, windowsills, any horizontal surface raised off the floor. And the surface has a key property that the cat finds fascinating. It has edges. To a cat, an edge is a special category of feature. In the wild, edges represent escape routes, ambush positions, sight lines, and places where prey can hide just below your line of sight. A small mammal that is not on the visible surface may be just below it. The cat investigates the edge the way an explorer investigates a cave mouth, carefully, methodically. And in your kitchen, the cat has noticed that objects placed near the edge can be made to disappear over it. This is, from the cat's perspective, a fascinating physical phenomenon. When the cat shoves your mug off the counter, it is, in part, conducting a small experiment. Object placed at edge, force applied. Object moves, object falls, object impacts floor. If the object is glass, it shatters. If it is plastic, it bounces. If it is your phone, it makes a satisfying clatter and possibly a screen crack. In each case, the cat acquires new information about the physical world. Now, the part that most owners find infuriating. The eye contact. Many cats, before they knock an object off a surface, will deliberately make eye contact with their human, hold the look for a moment, and then push the object. This is not malicious in the way many owners assume, but it is also not random. Cats use eye contact functionally. In feral colonies, cats use mutual gaze to coordinate behavior with bonded conspecifics. They check in when your cat makes eye contact before knocking the cup. The most likely interpretation is that the cat is reading you, calibrating your response, and then proceeding with the experiment. There is a second hypothesis, supported by 2017 work from researchers at Oregon State University. Cats that have learned that an action produces a strong reaction from a human will repeat that action, sometimes specifically when they want the human's attention. The cat is not being a sociopath. The cat has noticed that knocking a glass off the table reliably produces a fast, loud, focused response. The cat is, by every reasonable definition, calling you over. In a busy household, this is a remarkably effective signal. There is a third dimension to this behavior that often gets missed: boredom. Domestic cats in modern homes have a fraction of the daily activity their ancestors had. A feral cat hunts, patrols, climbs, and stalks for 6 to 8 hours a day, Your apartment cat has approximately 90 minutes of structured stimulation and then 20 hours of idle time. When the cat is understimulated, the predator software still runs in the background. It needs targets. In the absence of real prey, the cat's brain repurposes household objects. Anything that can be patted, swatted, chased, hidden, or knocked off an edge becomes acceptable input for the hunting circuit. The cat that pushes your pen off the desk at midnight is not bored in the human sense. It is a predator running out of legitimate work. If this is happening in your house, the solution is more enrichment. Interactive wand toys, puzzle feeders, scheduled play sessions of at least 15 minutes twice a day. A cat that has had a structured hunt is a cat that is content to nap, not patrol the kitchen for testable objects. You might assume this behavior is a quirk of bored apartment cats. It is not. Wild felids in their native ranges have been observed performing the same paw-edge interaction. Snow leopards in the Himalayas have been filmed batting loose stones off cliff edges and then watching them fall. Ocelots in the Amazon have been documented swatting fruit out of low branches and observing the descent. One particularly famous sequence from a BBC Nature documentary shows a young leopard pushing a heavy gourd off a tree branch repeatedly, watching it fall, climbing down to retrieve it, climbing back up, and doing it again. The leopard, like your cat, was not destroying property. It was conducting an experiment. Cats appear to be one of the only non-primate mammals with a clear taste for what cognitive ethologists call object-effect exploration. They like to see what happens when they do things. In other words, the cat in your kitchen is in a small but real way doing science. It is just inconvenient science. So the next time your cat sweeps your phone off the nightstand at 5 a.m., try to hold the broader picture. You are watching a predator with millions of years of paw probe instinct in an environment too understimulating to give those instincts a proper target, running its hunting software on the only available substrate, which is your stuff. The cat is not punishing you. It is being a cat. The cat is also calling you over. 2 practical takeaways. 1. Keep fragile valuables off horizontal cat accessible surfaces. The cat will eventually test them. This is not avoidable. 2. Increase the cat's structured playtime. The number of household objects you will lose decreases sharply with 30 minutes of dedicated daily hunting practice. Your cat is not malicious. Your cat is curious, instinctive, and a little understimulated. And depending on the angle of light, kind of brilliant. If you want more on what your cat is actually thinking when it does the weirdest things, hit subscribe. See you on the next one.